Hello, English 1301. How's everybody doing? Well, this is going to be one of my last video lectures to you. It's going to be a little on the easy side, so I hope it all works out for everybody to watch. Uh, well, basically now what you should have accomplished by this point, you should have brought your rough drafts, your first completed drafts, based on your outlines to class last Monday, okay, which was the 27th. Okay. And they should have been marked up by people in your group and uploaded, ideally, to the spot, I believe it's 25.1, double check that, but uploaded to the spot for your first draft on Canvas. Crossing fingers, Canvas doesn't mess up this time. Okay, so your next thing is going to be, you're going to basically implement the suggestions that your group made. And sometimes that can be a little bit of a trick. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit now and talk about what we're going to do next week, and then I'll be done. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter lecture. Usually they're about 10 minutes long. This will hopefully only be about half that length this time. Okay, so the first thing to remember is when somebody writes on your paper, because now you've got things written on your paper, you might not really understand how to implement them is the thing. If somebody says this is good, okay, great. If you can't, email somebody and say, hey, what is so good about it? Because it's good to find that kind of stuff out. What did I do right so I can do it again next time? It's not an ego trip if that's your motivation. What did I do specifically that you liked so much? You told me about it. Did I give a good explanation? Did I use a good level of vocabulary? Did I link my arguments really well to one another? Remember we talked about that, the sequential way of linking an argument, especially if we're in a body paragraph. Okay, all those kinds of things. If somebody wrote, however, a criticism, okay, those are crucial to understanding specifically what they meant. And again, sometimes the people in your group, they may be very, very well intentioned. However, they might not be as specific as we would like. So if somebody says, for example, I'm confused. Okay, typically what that means is you need to do a better job of linking that particular piece to the argument of your essay. If you are trying, for example, to suggest that Marvel comics are better than DC comics, and someone says, well, I'm confused. Well, at one part of your essay, look at that argument and try and think, if your grandmother who doesn't know comics read that, why would she be confused by it? Okay. Frequently remember what may be obvious to you, because this is an area of expertise you have most likely. Sorry, dumb dog barking in the background. Please ignore. What might be a bit of a... Okay, dog's quiet. Sorry. Anyways, what might be something really easily understandable to you might not be understandable to someone else. If you start talking about character development and story arcs and things like that versus politics versus whatever, try to make sure that you're making your argument in a way that a person who knows nothing about your subject would have an easy time understanding it. Okay? If somebody says clarify, that's a word I like to use a lot when I'm editing people's stuff. Please clarify. Again, that's a way of saying I need more details here. Explain what a carburetor does. Explain to me what a Weibelfetzer is. Okay. Tell me what is the difference between this and this. Explain the difference between this political concept and this political concept. Okay? If you're trying to say that capitalism is better than socialism or socialism is better than communism, make sure you define those two terms and their differences in such a way that a person who knows nothing about it will get it. Sometimes that means you need to use a simpler vocabulary. Can't use words that the folks won't get. Okay? It may sound kind of annoying, but believe it or not, a lot of your word processors, here's a trick I've learned. There's a lot of word processors that have a little gadget that will tell you the reading level of the piece you've just written. So believe it or not, a lot of the op-ed pieces that you will see in the Dallas Morning News or the Dallas Express or other newspapers, they are often written at a 7th grade level. Okay? So see if you can actually, if you can make your arguments and actually reduce them to that level, it might help you quite a bit. Okay? Especially if you are trying to talk about something that the average person might not completely get, whether it's superhero comic books or theoretical physics or V8 engines versus V6 engines, whatever. I'm not a car guy. I mean, I love the 73 Corvette, but that's as far as it goes. Okay, you understand? That's what we're looking at. So take your arguments. If someone says they are confused, make them simpler. Okay, do what you can with that. Okay, those are the main things I wanted to look at. Take a look at the arguments or the thoughts that people put there. If they say, give me more detail, you give them more detail. If they say, this is too wordy, okay, and you've got 3 sentences, cut it down to 1, okay? If they say there's too much detail, sometimes it is very possible to do that, okay? Other than that, what you're going to do is just upload the marked up copies you had from Monday to me, and then implement all the suggestions that your group had. Bring a new copy on this coming Monday, which will be the, let me double check and make sure that I've got that date correct. This coming Monday will be the 6th. Okay, that is basically all we're looking at today. Thanks much. You guys take care, and I'm looking forward to seeing you Monday. I am not going to miss the goofed up canvas that we've had to deal with, but I am really going to miss teaching you guys because this has been a very fun group for me to teach and work with. Okay, take care, everybody. Have a good night, and I will see you Monday on December 6th. Bye-bye.